one thing has happened. I am in the university system now for 25 and a half years. Some of you know. First 12 years in UCOP and then 13 plus years here. Before UC Park, some of you used this at your service online. Don't blame me now if things did not work. We did that program, the whole thing.
Been looking for you for years.
So anyway, so when I'm looking back, when I started in IT, storage was measured in kilobytes. Floppy disks were actually floppy. Phones were attached to the walls. Cloud was something where rain came from. And agents were used to appear in spy movies. I survived mainframes. That is why I started first. Client server, Y2K.com, virtualization, cloud migration, and countless software releases and upgrades, all of which were described as seamless. And you know how seamless they are. Except for one thing, which is any kind of intelligence, real or artificial. I escaped that. We used to submit jobs in mainframe those days. Tip the operator to bump up the job priority, otherwise they drop in low. Go for coffee. All that to compile an assembly language program or a COBOL program. Those who remember the word COBOL. COBOL was actually slowly became the real acronym, completely obsolete business-oriented language. And it got replaced by another acronym, JAVA, Java, which was just another vague acronym. So when I started, we were always worried about memory, whether it was a heap memory or computer RAM. Is my program or code taking too much memory, or is my program have that dreadful thing called memory leak? We made sure that garbage collector is running to clean up memory. 3.5 decades later now, I'm still worried about memory, but different kind. And it leaks, different kind of leak. That happens. Now speaking of obsolescence, the best thing about working in IT is not exactly the technology. Every system we deployed eventually became obsolete. But the friendship, partnership, and people never did. Technology changes every few years, but good colleagues like all of you are irreplaceable. You are part of the life in that sense for 25 years. Some things like CADs, messages, I put some messages for reference. When I joined here, CADs, of course, is the key word all of you use. CADs down. CADs crashed. Nothing is working. Lots of time we had one actually member of the IT team. He used to say CAD crashed and used to be very panicked. Every time we found out he did not connect to VPN. And waited for the speed and the browser crashes and he says everything crashed. One of our IT support team in the on-site team member said, I'm not going to support this person because I go from building to check that he hasn't connected to me. That was one thing. Then testing automation. We had one contractor tester, Bobby. So we got this extraction software for redaction. So we got 2 vendors and we asked the vendor, can we test it? And they said, yeah, you can scan something, some check and see if you can redact. And we said, we need to run the test. And they were reluctant to give us license. So we said, okay, they said we can do one thing. We can give you a license file in a USB stick. Every time you scan, that count goes down. We'll give you 5,000 so that you can test. Bobby did experiment with testing automation. His one run exhausted the 5,000 license. We talked to that vendor, they are suspicious. What do you do actually in Berkeley? I gave you 5,000 scan and you used them. What kind of business you are running? So that went. Then I became a manager about roughly 22 decades ago. Now I became a director. My job gradually evolved from solving technical problems to attend meetings to solving technical problems. So I am very fortunate to spend my career supporting a bigger mission, which is bigger than technology, which is higher education and research here. And none of that would be possible without the team and all of you. All the team members who have worked, I'm really grateful. One other thing I'll share, which I did not write here, is the environment university gives. I have seen my friends, my colleagues who are 50 plus get into this workforce and walk through the last stage of work life. They go through a lot of stress, tension, blood pressure, blah, 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 work related, and which kind of gets into other thing. I feel so lucky that this environment, which gave something called psychological safety. That term I heard more after COVID, you all probably, but that is a great thing. For example, today morning meeting, on purpose in a meeting where there was some tension that when will this be done and all that, I jokingly say, don't worry, everything will be done. If you do too early, you have to Netflix. And I could do that because that safety net is there. And thank you all for providing that. It's not easy to have that journey. Thank you. Thank you.